We've been dealing with the topic strong instead of exhausted. And if this video has helped you, please pass it on, write to us, give us a comment that will help us to improve this and that other people can also benefit from this. Today, our title, Managing Your Energy Stores Well. In the last weeks, we've looked at various storages in our lives, and last week I began with a list of how we can practically deal with our emotional, our mental, and our creative storages, how we can fill this. And if you haven't seen that, please go back to last week, firstly, and then continue with today's message. Today, point 9, plan daily rest. It's important that every day we have time where we can just be, that we can relax. We're all so different in this area and we need different things. But you need to know what you need for your life. How do you relax? The one goes riding on a bicycle, the one goes running, the one paints, the one cooks, the one knits. But it's important that you have your time in a day that is your time and that you can do whatever you want to do. It's also important, and this is the next point, point 10, to pay attention to rest days and rest times. What do I mean by rest? This is a day or some time where you have nothing to do with your work. God is one who showed us. He worked 6 days and then on the 7th day he rested. Why? Why? Did God really need this rest day? I'm sure not. But he set a principle here for us that we would carry out to live healthy lives, and he wants us to have a life of abundance. And even in these times where we have a lot of pressure in our lives, it's important that we have these rhythms in our lives. What's also good is that every year one plans a time of holiday. In Germany, we're very blessed that we have 5 weeks of holiday in 1 year. And I would suggest that when one can, that you have 3 weeks in a group of 3 weeks that you have holiday, rest time where you can fill your storage levels. And another point, number 11, is that we build good relationships. Good relationships are so important for us. They give us strength, support, they help us when times are tough. And I know the relationship that I have with my wife is such a source of strength for me. We have communication where we encourage each other and support each other. And I know that she's always a source of encouragement for me when I need it. But it's not just about my wife, it's about my children, my grandchildren. How can I plan my life that with these important people in my life that I have time with them to build relationships? When our children were still at home, living at home, at least once a day we would eat together. That was like a compulsory time as it was. Once a day I would see, my wife would see when everybody was there, and we would make sure that at least once a day we would have time to eat together. And I think it's also important that we have friendships that fill what we also need in an area in our lives. I need friends in ministry, people who understand how I tick, they understand the frustrations I have, friends that can encourage me in the areas where things maybe aren't going like I want them to go, because they understand my work. You need friends in your areas that understand you, maybe from your childhood, where they understand your roots. Maybe you need people in your work that work with you and they can help you, encourage you, when you need it. I think it's also important that we have a good balance between family, church, if you go to church, and work. It is a challenge, but we need wisdom and we can do it. And another thing that I find is very important is when we say we need time with each other, that we switch off our phones, or else that we put our phones in a room, that we're not continually distracted and looking at this modern instrument that, yes, it is important and it's nice, but on the other side can actually destroy things when we are trying to spend time with each other. I also want to say it's important to physically, in our physical area, physical storage, that we are filling that area. And that's the next point, that we look after our bodies. How are we eating? What are we putting into our bodies? Are we eating things that give us energy? And if we are eating healthily, we will have more strength. A few years ago, a good doctor gave me a prescription for some vitamins, and this really helped me. I realized and saw that I had more energy than I had before. Little things like that can make such a difference in your life. If we look after our bodies, then we have more strength. For some of us, we need a more strenuous plan or strict plan of when we go to bed, when we go to sleep. Otherwise, we just keep working through the night. Some people enjoy playing games, computer games or so. We need discipline in this area. Make sure we're getting enough sleep. I also think it's important that every person does some form of exercise. Some would say, I don't need it. Some may say, I'm not a marathon runner. That's not what this is about. It's about moving your body 20 minutes a day. Exercise does everyone good. And doctors and experts say this is really important if we have this in our daily work. And then the last thing, the last number 13 says that all these areas, how is it with your whole rhythm of life? And I would say change your rhythm of life if necessary. When I see that I'm walking too fast in a shop, then I say to myself, hey, do you have to be so fast, walking so fast? Why are you doing this? It's so hectic. Why are you in such a hurry? Or else when I notice that I'm driving too fast, then I also ask myself, what's wrong with you? Drive slower, relax, don't eat so fast. Sometimes it's just a little expression of how I could enjoy my life more, to enjoy those little things in life. And I think it's important that we build in time. In the midst of all our appointments and things that we're involved in, that we enjoy things. In our church, we have a value that we say, enjoy the journey. And this is a value that I hold to because I need it. It's not just about reaching the goal, but it's also about enjoying the journey to the goal and then back and everything in between. Even when I'm traveling, I enjoy every coffee stop at the station or at the airport. Enjoy this and see this as part of my life's journey. And if you do this, you will have joy in your life. I think it's also important that we look at our lifestyle and simplify it. Sometimes there are people that have gathered and hoarded so many things, and they spend their whole lives maintaining this and keeping it clean and maintaining and and so on. And I ask myself the question, is this necessary? And your life would be so much easier if you had less things but more time for the things that are really important. John 10 verse 10 says, "A thief wants to rob, murder, and destroy. But I have come to give them life in all its fullness." Jesus came for us. He came so that the energy that He has given us, that we can maintain this well, that we can persevere in a way that we can enjoy life in overflow. Question for application today. Go through these points again and decide also from the points from last week and see where you need to change the most. Rest days and times, building good relationships, looking after your physical body and storage space and your lifestyle. Maybe this list is overwhelming, but just start with one point and say, this is what I'm wanting to apply. And then you will see that your life can truly be a different one.